I think that the most important resource a community can have is its young people. And then, of course, it's natural resources. And a lot of you're now in an association with Edmonton who has a large number of young people who are idle, who are disillusioned, and all the rest of the issues in terms of not wanting to invest and play a part in society. And that is why, in a sense, I'm running. And I'm not just talking to groups like yourselves, I'm talking to young people. And I'm actually concentrating their minds. Because what they need, and the man said, the causes is a culture. It starts with the culture of which they are living day in and day out. And I think that I can start changing the image of what young people can do in society. I think a lot of people are asking me, why are you running? What are you doing? You know, you should be out, you should be doing this. And I think, well, no, we have serious issues on the agenda. Now the question is, yes, we need to challenge young people. We do. We need to give them more challenges. They are smart. They are very savvy. Communication technology, it's rising. But of course, we have to show them why it's important for them to participate in society, in helping, in volunteering. And I think volunteering is the great area in which we can do. And I'm going to be pushing that with a lot of vigor in terms of trying to show them the benefits of that, because it's experience. And that is what they need, experience. And I think it's important that you, the older generation, says that yes, we're going to invest in young people. And I think a support for myself would be a sign that Edmonton, number one, is moving forward in the sense that it doesn't have to be classified as a Labour seat or a Conservative seat or a Liberal Democratic seat. It's going to be independent. It's going to take issues of national policy on an independent basis. That is, all of you discussing what the issues are and what you feel. And I'm going to try and represent that. I'm going to be your voice. And I think that if you put a young person, 30 seconds, with your wisdom and experience behind that young person, who's willing to learn, who's willing to make the necessary decisions that are necessary to move Edmonton forward, I think that young people will start turning around. First of all, if you elect a member of parliament, 26 years old, to speak with more vigor on your interests, I think that young people will concentrate their minds and start thinking that maybe I should move forward.
Okay, thank you. I think, David, if you'd like to go first.
I think some of my opponents have illustrated with the clearest precision what's going on today in Parliament. Everyone's talking over each other and not letting each other finish what they have to say. As somebody who studied politics at college and went on to university to study at university politics and international relations, I'm disturbed and dismayed at the kind of opinion people have of politics. And I run for Member of Parliament in this election because the Parliament before us has failed to recognize. It has failed to recognize that in these changing times, with a revolution of rising expectations not only in this country, but all around the world, Great Britain, under the shadow of the United States, Great Britain has lost its image as a free, vigorous, and independent society. I think the only way that Edmonton's voice is going to be heard, now as I said, Bushel Park is a new partner into this new constituency, this new association, and as I've said before, I'm coming here telling you that we want to work together. We want to use the intelligence and the wisdom that Bushel Park has demonstrated through the last decade, which has kept it at a relatively high level compared to Edmonton, the rest of Edmonton. We want to move up, and we know that the only way we can do that is through partnership. And that's why the Edmonton Assembly is going to be very essential, because that is where you are going to be meeting your other neighbors. That is where you're going to be seeing their problems. And that is where you're going to be able to make a decision about what it is that we're going to do. The reason why I feel that most people are disillusioned with politics is because there is a separation between public opinion and national policy. It doesn't conform. Same thing with the war in Iraq. Public opinion was against it. I was against it as a student. But national policy went its own way. The situation with the bankers, I think national public opinion was against that. Again, national policy went another way, and that's because there is a separation between public opinion and national policy, and we have to revert that. I was not, because I couldn't join a political party. I think, what I did realize when I went to university, though, that the issues that we face are not black and white. They're not just through one narrow prism. They have to be looked at, and the decision has to be made. Now, the whips, I think there should only be one whip, and that should be the people. And that's who's going to be whipping me. That's why I'm going to have the assembly. Because every vote that I decide in Parliament, I would have consulted the people of Edmonton. We were going to go through things. I'm going to engage the people. We're going to have real independence. The only way for Edmonton to have its voice heard in Parliament if it's independent. And don't let anybody tell you that an independent will be isolated in Parliament, that they would have no influence whatsoever. Parliament is a weapon, it's an instrument. It's an instrument for interests to act on their interests. Now, I think that the interest of Edmonton is very important. I'm from Edmonton, I've lived here for 16 years, and as I said, if I speak with a united voice from Edmonton, that is, we've discussed the issues. Every month, I'm going to tell you, this is the agenda in Parliament. If there's any side business we can get through that, we'll try and get through. But I'm going to tell you the agenda in Parliament, and then I'm going to go through step by step, because I'm going to ask you. I keep telling people, it's not what I intend to offer the people of Edmonton, it's what I intend to ask of them. And I want you to be engaged, because so long as you have your public opinion, so long as you have your opinion, let it count for something. Bring it into our assembly. Let us talk. If your argument is good, then it should win out. Either way, I'm going to represent the consensus view of Edmonton. And if there's a divide, then of course I have to make a judgment. And it will be a decisive judgment. But it will be after careful consultation with yourselves and the rest of the people in Edmonton on every single issue, from war and peace to economics. Because that is the only way that we can avoid Parliament passing through legislation, which is always undermining the rule of the people. In terms of immigration, I think the press has a lot to answer for in terms of how it's reported to the people. And it goes back to why... Can no one hear me at the back? Is that just clear enough?
Yep.
As I said before, I think the press, or some sections of the press, not all the press, have a lot to answer for in terms of the dialogue we have about immigration. And I think we've already heard that there is no definitive statistic on how many immigrants that are here in terms of illegally, or I think there should be statistics on who are here legally, but I think it's the illegal ones where the statistics are very shady. And because of that, there's a lot of speculation. And that's where I think therefore, what we should be discussing, in my judgment, should be what should be the methods of census in terms of illegal immigrants. And it goes back to border control, and it goes back to all those other related issues. We can't say enough is enough in terms of immigration, because interest will always intervene in terms of where the press will be going more anti-immigration or pro-anti-immigration. And I think sometimes you see the ebb and flow in terms of the press. Sometimes it's like, oh, we need immigration for competitiveness. And then at another stage they say, oh no, we have too much. And again, they're floating a lot of facts which aren't definitive. And that kind of, I think, disturbs the flow. We need to have more clearer information. That is why, going back to my only pledge in terms of what I will do, the first thing I will do is build an Edmonton Assembly, where I will go every month to discuss all the issues that are before Parliament, all the bills that are coming up, and I'll be consulting with you so you're engaged, so you know exactly what I'm seeing in the House of Commons. And then we can make a judgment, Edmonton can make a judgment. I'll take the consensus view and I'll take that voice to Parliament, and it will be loud and clear.